All right, everybody. Start this off. All right. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. Collaboration group seems to be a hit. I've had this idea for a while now. I thought last year, over a year ago, it would just be good for marketing for B&B. And like I said, I was telling Marcio, not everyone gets that IMTS or these other tech shows, and I figured this would be a good way to put it on YouTube for those small shops that could get to it. Can't get to those shows to actually see the latest in tooling from every tool manufacturer. I'd like to think I'm not overstating something here, but this is kind of mine and Blaine's idea to do this, and it seems like Emuge's taking it and running with it, and they're actually going to go on the road with this. So I'm glad that we came up with something that Emuge's taking and running. So with that, I'd like to pass it over to Tom. He's going to give a little bit of background about Emuge and some of the tooling we're using tonight, and we'll go from there, and then we'll start cutting chips.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Brett and Blaine, for having us. My colleague is Mr. Evan Duncanson. He's come all the way from the state of New Hampshire. He works out of our tech center in West Boylston, Massachusetts. I'll give you a little nickel history of Emuge Franken. So this thing, job shops, I think it's an important, job shops are the backbone of American manufacturing. Most job shops are family-owned businesses still to this day. Emuge Franken is a family-owned business. We've been around about 104 years. We were founded by an inventor. We still have, his son is our boss over 104 years later. The company in Germany is a little over 1,100 employees. In Lauf, a little village outside of Nuremberg. We've always been there. Franken is the milling, synonymous with high technology. The Franken plant is 10 minutes up the road, a little village called Ruckersdorf. All the tools that we're going to show you are either made in Germany or they're made in the United States. They're not made anywhere else. We're very proud of that. All the end mills that we make and we're going to show here tonight are made at our facility in West Boylston, Massachusetts. We have a production hall that can hold up to 30 grinding machines. I think we're at 5. So we want to spread the word about our manufacturing excellence with carbide tools and make you see that a Franken is just as good in quality as Emuge over the years is known for taps. We've always made taps. We still make all our taps in that one plant in Lauf. And we also make tap holders. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through what we call the multi-tool program. It's designed to be very high quality, all made in either Germany or United States, but very affordable. So for the job shop, it's a very high performance, affordable product. Multi, because you can use it in all the materials. We're gonna do steel tonight, but if it was aluminum, if it was brass, if it was bronze, if it was stainless steel, some titaniums, we would use the same tools that you're going to see tonight. We would adjust the cutting conditions, okay? So that would save you money as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is walk through some of these slides. We have a teleprompter here to show you. So like I said, the multi-tool program, it's really designed to be versatile, high quality, and affordable. Go to the next slide. I want to just talk about the Emuge brand. If you know Emuge, if you've been a machinist for years, most people know Emuge, apex of quality, performance, tapping without a doubt, right? Tonight what we want to do is show you that Emuge Franken, we are in that critical aerospace, medical, and what we're looking at is a bigger part of the market would be in the middle, and that's where the multi-tool fits. So tonight you're going to see the multi-tap, okay? We have a multi-thread mill series. We have a brand new solid carbide offering drills, multi-drill, all going through. And then we are going to finish it with the top cut VAR. That's our all-round 4, 5, 6, and 7 flute end mills in inch sizes and the lengths of cut that you come to know as standards in the US, and with the corner radiuses that you need. If you know our system, we have a very extensive program for tapping, and all these programs that are set up around a multi-tool are condensed. So instead of going into a 700-page catalog, we have a multi-tap, multi-tool booklet, which you can be through in 5 minutes. And it has it doesn't have everything, no, but it has the majority of the tap sizes you need. So multi-taps run from 440 up to 1 inch, right? Coarse and fine. And then the same size range in metric. And you have the same thing with thread mills, right? And then the drills, there's over 178 SKUs per drill length. So you have metric, you have fractional, you have letter size. It's a very, what I would say, complete line of drills. So if we keep advancing, you can fly through some of these. I'll tell you when to stop. You can see that the program is built on drill it, tap it, gauge it. I have tools over here if you want to touch anything. I brought a gauge with me to show you we fully stock all the common unified metric threads. In Massachusetts, you guys need 2 days ground for a certified gauge.
And they are cost effective. I have both.
So the first thing, and we can fly through this, is the multi-drill. I want to show you pricing. So at each category, the drill that we're going to use is 7.45 millimeter. It's the preparatory drill for a 5/16 24 cold forming tap that we're going to run. That drill is coolant fed. It's a 5x D jobber length. It's a $90 drill. That's what you would tap. If we keep advancing, I always tell people, why drills from Emuge? Drills and taps are linked like peanut butter and jelly. We are also handing out machine tapping drill charts. When I say that, if I take a Starrett chart, it's 75% full thread. That's hand tapping. We're machine tap people. We're going to tap in this machine up to 1,000 RPM, in and out. We'll complete a hole in less than 5 seconds. You have to accommodate for that type of tapping. These are the 68 to 70% full thread, and that is all you need for a beautiful thread from a machine tap. So please help yourself to one of our drill charts and keep advancing. This is just to show you in Germany the investments we made for making your drills. So we have a brand new production hall in Lauf. It's approximately 250,000 square feet. Okay, connected to our campus where we literally started in a garage in 1920 by a glass skywalk that goes over the main road. In that, we are lining up Reinecker machines, and they are the machines that we make your drills on. And we have room up to 60 Reinecker machines. I think we're like in the 12 to 13 range right now. Keep going. This is just to show you, every book that we show a tap in, we show you the appropriate drill size that we want you to start with. And we also show you on this chart the min and max range. And if it's tougher material, and we do have the additional sizes within range to make the best hole size pre-tap. Okay. This you can skip. We can keep going. I just wanted to make it. We are known for application tools, right? Material specific, you might hear. Multi-tool is you don't suffer any quality, the highest quality, the same steel, the same Reichhauer thread grinded machines, everything the same, right? But what we've done is we've made some adjustments so that you can have a machine tap, whether it's a spiral point cut tap, spiral flute bottoming tap, or a cold forming tap to do all the materials that you would see in a week time in a job shop, okay? So material specific is kind of our MO, but again, what we're going tonight for is these tools could be adjusted and run in mostly all machine job shop type materials. This is just to show you the multi-drill, our first The chips don't lie, I tell customers. The chips don't lie, right? So you'll see we have speeds and feeds for all your materials. And this is the chip formation with every one of those materials with one multi-drill. We just adjust the feed and speed. We're making 6s and 9s, and you're happy and on your way. And by the way, it's a double, well, if you keep flipping, it's a advanced geometry drill. We can keep going. One, stop right there. So every Emuge drill is a double margin drill. Why? We want to make a quality round bore because we're going to tap most of these holes, right? If it's a cold forming tap like you're going to see tonight, the hole quality has to be perfect for the taps to form and press the thread. So would you rather have a 4-legged table or a 2-legged table? Carbide drills flex. Double margin drill, perfectly round hole, perfectly straight every time. Okay? If we advance. Stop right there. Well, one more, actually, it's a better picture. Every Emuge drill features a reverse web taper. Why? High penetration feed rates. Has to be what we tell you because of the hone size we put on the drill. So you don't want to ever baby the drill. You start where we tell you and you can only go higher. The reason we do reverse web taper, again, we want to have more room as we go deeper. We want the chips to come out, and they're all corn-fed drills. Okay. So we can advance. The carbide we use is unlike any of our competitors. It's a German carbide that we're using. It's harder, we know that, but because of the research and development we did into the coating technology, it's polished coatings, and also the geometry, the soft cut. We have a lot of data on this. This holds up better in most of all these materials. Okay. This is just to show you the coating technology. It's a multi-layer TIA on coating, and again, even after it gets a post-polishing, all the droplets and things are removed. This gives you much longer tool life. We do this same process when we recondition these drills here in the United States on the same Reinecker machines that we make the drills on. We do that service here. Laser etch the shanks, so you know when it was done, who did it, right? And you're gonna get the same performance out of the recondition. We don't say regrind because it's not only reground, it gets rehoned, it gets coated, and it gets polished. It gets put back into a box and marked, so it's like a brand new tool. So
and on average about a third of the cost, or 50?
A little more than that.
What?
We can go through this. We can keep going. So all the drills that we're going to use are 140 degrees self-centering. We don't need you to give us any center, right? Only when we talk about maybe 12 times D, we start to think about 142 degree spot. This is something we make here in the United States, so if you need that tool, we have it. When we need to have a chamfer drill your hole, bench, and we're going to do that tonight, but we don't need a spot for this drill. In fact, we don't want this. The reason is if we back up a little bit, one more. The reason is this: 140 degree or 135, your spot it'll actually ruin our performance. Our chisel is designed, we have to hit first with the chisel. When we do that, we know the drill is stable. Your hole is to size every time, like a piston, okay? And you're gonna get the best life. If you don't do that, we're gonna have problems. So no spot, no peck, one shot. So if we advance, I'm gonna ask you if there's any questions. I'm trying to go as quickly as I can, because I know we're all standing. And we're gonna actually, it's probably better that you see these things rather than hearing it from me. Any questions on drills? Boogie drills?
Spot after you drill before you tap?
If you have to have chamfer, which we prefer for a tapped hole, do it after we make the. So multi-tap. Multi-tap, again, all of our steel has been controlled. We have our own metrology, we have our own heat treat. We control the entire thing at Emuge. No other company can tell you this. We do. We still do it this way, okay? One of the things about the multi-tap, it's all made in one plane. All the thread grinding is in one hole. No other tap company can tell you such a thing. We still do it this way. And we will never change that. It'll always be that way. If I told you how thick the floor was in that room, you'd shit. The train goes by, and that's why it's actually thicker than it'll ever have to be. And we know how much vibration that train even generates. So we have a spiral point design for through holes. We basically, for dollars, we have a TICN coating. It works in aluminum, it works in all your stainless, it works in steel, and that's what you're gonna see tonight, is a TICN coated cold form tap. And then there's a semi-bottoming, to us, 2 to 3 thread lead. Remember, machine tap replaced 3 taps, right? So it's a 2 to 3 thread lead. That means it develops the thread profile 3 complete turns. That's semi-bottoming to us. A premium tap we make for me, 2 turns, 1.5 to 2. But for most, if you can use it, we try to use 2 to 3 lead. Cold forming is for me. So we're gonna press, there's no chips. What does that give us? If you can have formed taps as part of your process, no chips. Chips break taps, okay? If we don't make chips, we have a better chance of not break taps. We can also go deeper without problems. But there's things we have to pay attention to do this. Number one is we gotta use the right drill. We gotta have a round hole. It's gotta be high quality. We gotta have great lubrication. If your coolant is dishwater, this is not for taps. So we always like to see 10%. 10% emulsion. I think you guys showed me last night you use Emuge tap fluid.
Yeah, we have a little bit
Emuge
of that.
tap fluid is a high quality lubricant. It's a micro lube. It doesn't burn or evaporate. You'll never see it smoking or doing things. But what it does is it sticks to the surface and it lubricates the tap. And that's what good tap fluids do. So that's an option. The range I already went over. It's an important thing that I tell you. A multi-tap will do any standard thread in the shop. All taps are oversized, right? So when we look at the go gauge, I think we have a big enough gauge here to show you. If you looked up this thread here, and I think we have 1'8". I'll pass this around. This is a Emuge gauge. This is always 0, no matter what the thread is, right? You guys know maybe H limits or D limits. We don't mark this on a tap. We mark the class of fit. Emuge's tap, multi-tap, is marked 2B, 3B. It'll do any standard thread. Is that clear? If you're stocking different H limit taps in your shop in a drawer, we could eliminate that if we advance the slides a little bit. That's the difference between go and no go. There's always a spread, is what I'm trying to tell you. In that spread, a cut tap is about 40-some% of the spread. Why? It cuts the lead, it makes clearance because it's a cutting tool. A forming tap is always around 80, maybe 90. Why? It presses the thread, right? It doesn't make clearance. So when we grind taps, if say the tolerance of a tap, right, is, I'm just going to use a round number, 10 microns. We always use 1/3 of it at Emuge. We make 500 taps, we're within 2 microns. That's the difference that Emuge brings to the game. So if we advance another one, if you're picking taps according to H limits, why? That was 100 years ago. You don't have to do this. We make the tap to the gauge. Most all gauges, right? The tighter tolerance is 3B for unified, right? Multi-tap will do that, and 2B. So one tap would do all the H limits. Unless you need an elevated size, that's a whole different argument. If I advance a little more, what I'm showing you here is this: we go into a tool crib and they're looking to save money, right? I think there's, how many SKUs there? 20 different SKUs for a 1/4 20 tap. advance it one more. We come in with the multi-tap, we now have 5 SKUs. We do every job. So,
Very
think of
nice.
it that way. It's a money saver. Questions on the tap? No, I'm fine, but everybody good? So thread mills, I did bring a thread mill to show you. I'm not kind of go through this. We didn't have time to do a thread mill, but if you didn't know, we've always been in thread milling. The Thriller, maybe you remember back in the early 90s, we had tools, drill, thread mill. That's us. We kind of put that. If I advance multi-thread mill, it's just a really great deal. There's 2 basic types. ZGF in German said Gewindefrage thread mill, right? They just put the words next to each other. This is the single plane. With a single plane and multiple teeth, right? I can do different thread pitch range. All I got to worry about is the diameter of the tool for clearance, right? Because I'm going to do a helix in and out, but also the reach, so the thread depth. We typically, I tell guys, we make thread mills on steroids. So I'm going to skip some of this. So let me just finish with the thread mills. Like, if you guys have any applications for thread milling, we do from odd 80, we have experience with making 160 millimeter cutting tabs and the holders that held those tabs. So anything in between, we've done this. We have great experience doing it. Thread milling, I can mill big threads even on this machine. I can't drive big tabs, right? So thread milling is a great option. One of the things I have over there, maybe we can pass it around, is the thread miller for NPT. So we're gonna do both of them at the same time. You already put it out there. So this is the new multi-pipe tap. This is the thread miller, right? So this is 11 and a half. We do 1 inch to 2 inch. This is a great thing because don't worry about projection, right? I can create the pipe tap projection with this. Don't worry about chips. You notice this has a pretty slick looking geometry lock because on a taper, the entire tap, unlike a parallel thread on a taper tap, the whole thing cuts the whole time. The chips just they never stop. They just keep coming. So we gotta get creative with flutes and interrupted teeth. And you see, like, this is a CNC pipe tap. It's the first of its kind. So if you ever did pipe threads, these are standards that were basically out of the Industrial Revolution. They're so old. People always ask, why are the tap shanks? Because they're so old. The standards are, they blow the dust off, like, that's how old. So what we're doing is we're making modern CNC pipe tap. If you look at that, you know anything about pipe threads, that tap will do an SAE short. That's the standard now. So you never need a short projection. So did you guys see this mill? That's the solid carbide. Again, that's the 11 and a half. That'd be 1 inch up to 2 inch, 11 and a half pitch. So that's all I was going to really do with the tapping. We're going to see a good demonstration. Pipe tap is something brand new. It's always a problem in a shop. If you got to do a pipe thread on a machine like this, it's a problem. It's a bad day. We can help you with tapping, all right? We can help you with thread mills. Thread mills, I think, gets rid of the problem completely. Nice little coma chips, everything. And we got to get the right thing. If you guys know tooling, you'll notice right hand cut, left hand helix. Why? A lot of pressure, a lot of fight. This is going to put all that into the spindle bearing. It's going to be very rigid. I put this in that holder we're going to talk about later. It's rigid. you're not going to see chatter. I do a rough and a finish, and if you're doing stainless steel, like in any kind of nitrogen gas test with dry seal, this thing will hold up for hundreds of threads, literally night and day.
Looks good.
So now we're going to talk about end mills, and that's the Franken. So in Germany, Emuge is from Bavaria, in the region of Franconia, ancient Franken. That's where they've always, this is where our company founder worked. Before CBN grinding, you had to have form end mills to make flutes and taps, to mill your green steel taps, right? And this is where our flutes came from the form cutters. They've always made hobs and form cutters. This gentleman here has just done a turbine rotor with the Christmas tree locks that you see that. So we have a revolutionary, what's the tool, think of, Bogoti cutter, first of its kind in the world. So we have this tremendous background and history in making milling tools before CNC grinding and all. So now you go to Franken, ultra modern, I don't know, over 50 Anka MX7s running, a whole haul of Rollmatics making tools down to millimeters, so less than 10 thousandths, we'll say. So great technology. What we've done is we've taken that technology, and what we're going to show you tonight, we make here in West Boylston, Massachusetts, right outside of Worcester. People ask me, why the hell are you guys in Worcester? Well, Emuge made taps for many years, bought a lot of Norton grinding wheels. First Germans that spoke English, go to training at, that's where our first reps were, right out of where they went to Norton school. So we're proud of that. We're building there. We have about 12-acre site, and we're on phase 2 of up to 4 phases we can build there. So it's we're investing in the United States in the future. So end mills is the Franken. We have, and I welcome you guys because I don't want to carry this stuff out to my car again. But please take a booklet. We have, this is our first USA end mill catalog. And it's a comprehensive book. The tools that we're going to really talk about for the job shop is Top Cut VAR. And if we advance the slides, the thing I wanted to show you is Top Cut VAR, any material, like I know it's a repetitive theme, but it's the truth. Any kind of strategy, you know, we got something for you, whether you're doing traditional milling, which we're going to do on one side of this block, but also the thing that I tell people put end mills back, you know, in the game is high efficiency milling, right? Dynamic milling, volume milling. We're going to do some of that. And anything in between, we can advance. So made in the USA, we said that. Why universal materials? Keep going. We can keep going. So a couple things about our tools that we like to brag about. Why VAR, right? Variable helix, variable set, no vibrations, right? What you have, if we keep going, and what I tell you, what is the secret sauce with Emuge Franken Top Cut? For the price point that we're at, there's no company, and I challenge you guys, there's some end mills over here, put your finger to the edge, right? Put your finger and feel it. Put your fingernail against it. The edge prep that we put on your end mill, right? No one does it in this price range. Every one of these end mills goes through this process, by the way, fully controlled by us, our machines. After we grind the tool, right? We go through and we put them through a systematic edge prep system, okay? And we batch check every batch. We have, if you ever come visit us, we're very proud. What's the measuring, what's the definition we're talking, how small down do we look? like a micron?
A thousandth of a micron.
1,000th of a micron. That's the definition. We look at the rounding that we're putting on your tools. Okay, so quality. Why? We care. We've been doing this a while, but I think this name means something still. You know? So we can advance. This is just showing you from ground, right? Anyone can grind your tool. You know, you can go buy a Walter, you can go buy a whatever. The things that change are after the grinding of the tool, and this is where you can't just buy this stuff. So we're just showing you the surface quality that we're leaving on the tool. We can keep going. The coating, you're going to notice it's not TiO(N) like every other tool, and we're using Alcronin. Why? The highest oxidation temperature for a PVD coating right now. We can do all the materials, including one of the things we're proud of is Inconel 718. We do a lot of it, right? We're in Aerospace Alley. We know a little bit about the exotic material. We can advance some more. The other thing that's kind of cool, our 4-flute end mill, taper core. We talked about reverse taper on a drill. Why have a taper core on a slot miller? Cut slots. It's got to have room at the bottom, and it needs rigidity. So, stronger tool. More time consuming, but that's all right. We're willing to do that. So, variable helix and spacing, advanced edge prep, that's the big one. I want you guys to know a lot of care is going into that. We do have a chamfer feature as a standard, that's a DIN standard. Some people do prefer that, but mostly corner rad, and it starts at 10,000ths. Like I said, the flute count is 4, 5, 6, and now 7. So we can advance. We can keep advancing. Prices for the tools you're going to see. These are the prices you would pay on the market. Okay, if you bought one tool. Don, if they bought 50, maybe. All right. We can talk. We can talk. Yeah. This is the 90 degree is a 5-flute helical top cut type geometry for chamfering. 1/2 inch, 1.25 length of cut. We do have both standards, so we have 1 inch and 1.25 as a standard. That is a 4-flute 30 thou corner rad. We're going to do conventional milling with it. $75 we'll say, round numbers. And then the 1/2 inch hem tool is 7 flutes. Okay. We're going to do dynamic milling technique. About $80. That's where we're at. So, very affordable. Questions on the animals? Did you get a beer? Guys, the last thing we were going to talk about is a product that, again, when I sell taps, you know, I think we're real proud of Emuge tap holders. And one of you guys asked, what's saw synchro? Oh man, how much time do you got? So when we talk about milling, we're milling with end mills, obviously, and that's the bulk of it. But think about thread milling. I got to mill a thread. I got to make a perfect pitch diameter cylinder, right? Don't want any taper, chatter. You need a very stable. If you're ever holding a thread mill with an ER or TG or whatever buddies call it, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it with our tool, right? It's not. It's very weak. Any load on the side, it's weak. It's easy, but it's weak. What we're going to show you is not only easy, but it's strong. It's the strongest. So I have a holder. And I'm going to pass this around because it has some weight to it. This is the same holder we're going to use tonight. It just happens to be HSK. It's a little dirty too. But this is the secret. Steep taper. Now 1.5 degrees. Same cone to match. Worm thread. 16-to-1 gear drive in here. Just multiplying, right? Just like the Egyptians. I'm gonna draw this thing in, and it ain't moving. right? And it's all metal. Even the seals, it's all metal to metal. So I'm gonna pass this around so you can look at it, and if you have any questions. But the thing that I will show you here is this on the shop floor, run out, 3 microns. You don't have to do anything. You put a tool in there, take it over to your presetter or whatever you're doing, 3 microns. And it's easy. The only tool you don't need a heater, you don't need a hydraulic press that costs $12,000, because I sold that press too. This is all you need, it comes in the box. This is a spring wrench. Because it's a 16-to-1 precision gear, you'll never have to over tighten it. So this is 10 Newton meters, 9.5 foot-pounds. As soon as these triangles line up, you're done. That thing is ready to go to war. If you're the guy that has a $70,000 workpiece, and you have that guy, right? We have that guy. We have a simple way to lock a tool, because you're gonna do hours of dynamic milling, right? With a welding flat, and I only can show you this picture, and I'll pass the picture around. Guys, in here, this is the guts of this thing. That hardened steel pin, just a welding flat. I can lock your tool. It ain't coming out. Okay? It's simple, right? But it's rigid. And it's like you're going to war. No run out. You're going to get the most out of your tool. We got into this because we make threads. We make some really expensive threads. And you get one shot. With a thread mill even. They don't want to hear it. And it's got to be perfect. It can't be like this. You put the thread mill in this holder, all the problems went away. You said, we got to sell end mills. So now this is what we're going to do the end milling with. Rigid, simple, no run out, fights vibration, all the common spindle connections. This is just to show you, because we have, Brett has coolant through the spindle. So we're actually going to run air so you can see the mills, but we want you to know with that pin lock, you get extra coolant channels for a solid end mill, and it's 4, correct? 4 channels. Along black, flush everything out of the way.
That's it. Let's make some chips.
So now, if you guys want, you can grab a sandwich maybe, we'll take a little break.
Yeah, we can do that.